Good day, everybody. Birds say good day today. Yeah, let's go investigate a little bit. That was a big bird. We don't talk all the time, we might see some critters even. Where's it, the woodpecker? No, it's a squirrel. There's a squirrel in this tree, right at the top there. Let's see if it goes away, jumps, or what's gonna do when it go closer. It's right there. Some critter. I think it's a squirrel. Where's the bird? Something is up there. I think it's a squirrel. Just hanging around. Hey squirrel, where are you gonna go? Just chill in the tree. Yep, just gonna leave it. See, it goes down when you go past it. It's still chilling up in the tree. Usually they can have some sounds when you get close to them, but that one, it's just chilling up in the tree. Sitting very still. Hello there, director. We'll see when we come back if we see the squirrel still chilling in the tree. It was just a couple of meters up from us up in the pine there. Munching on some cones, probably. Now it's gone, I think. It's moved when we passed it. But yeah, in case you wonder why I have a bike here when we're going through the forest, we can go to this other area And we can use the bike here for quite a bit of the trip. When you go properly in the forest, then we're gonna just walk, but there's a good enough road here where we can ride the bike a little bit. Kind of a drizzly day today, but I think the rain should like subside, so we should be able to ride here without getting wet. It's kind of foggy, very slightly drizzly weather. But it should like get better. It's a pretty normal October, November weather, I guess, right now. Which is fine as long as it doesn't rain, then we can't do too much outside. It's raining, or at least not stream it. Pile of aspen logs. You don't see aspen usually that much. They'll log it somewhere, a little bit of aspen there. Got some good wood for sure. Those logs there I think were even bigger. Very nice logs. Very nice. A guy that said it's from Sweden, but actually I've been living in Norway. No, I'm A Finn living in Finland. Might speak a few languages, but definitely a Finn. Finn living in Finland. A Sami? No. No. It's a very small chance of being a Sami. I think it's like there's a few thousands of Sami people in Finland, I think. So a very small chance of that. Pretty much, or most of them at least, I think they live like really far north in Finland. Do a bunch of reindeer farming and some other stuff, tourist stuff and whatever. Interesting smells here. It smells like some berry or something. Weird smell. Definitely fresh smells when it's this nice and cool air. But yeah, we will see when we go in the forest. We could see some moose, definitely. Even here, if we don't talk too loud and too much, sometimes we can see some moose or something. Once I saw a bunch of foxes walking over this road, because we're pretty much in the middle of the woods now. Not in the middle of nowhere, just in the middle of the woods. Woodies. Are you living in everyday or ever? What? Are you living in everyday or ever night Arctic Circle? We're pretty far south in Finland, so I mean, even in late December when the day is like shortest, we still have like 6 hours of daylight. And then in the summer we have like almost 20 hours of daylight. But no, we're not at the Arctic Circle. Then we could have in the summer 24-hour daylight, and then in the winter almost 0 hours of daylight. But gotta go way more north for that. We're quite far south here. But it's always funny how people, they always say in chat when it's dark in the winter, but no one comes in the summer and says like, oh wow, you have 20 hours of daylight. It's always people complain in the winter, but no one says anything in the summer. Or I guess you occasionally get some people wondering why it's like sun is out at 11 p.m. I feel fine in Finland. I think I definitely some pretty aggressive comments. You shouldn't read too much into social media. It's always everything is so exaggerated in like social media. Watch my stream for a while, then you see what's a little bit more like the reality. It's not as aggressive as social media makes it seem. And that kind of goes for everything. Let's see how the connection works here. Yeah, I could try to adjust. I had the seat. I want the seat to be a little bit lower. We could try maybe put it 0.5 centimeter lower. Like this maybe. And try to get it straight. That could be good to try. Because last time we were running a little bit longer biker session. Had a little feeling in the left knee, and I think it was partially because I think the seat was maybe too high. Let's leave the bike here. Is bike electric? No. Manual bike. The only thing electric is the stream. Or all the electrics, all the batteries I have go for the stream. Everything looks wet. Like you couldn't see if it's dry or wet here. It's very hard to see the difference. And it's actually being October, November, that's usually the like wet time of the year. But it's actually been like just like last fall. It's been very dry, so it's actually quite dry for the time of the year. But yeah, right now it's almost like drizzling, or it's like foggy. You can see the fog. So in that way, it's kind of foggy now, wet. But it is when we come to some ditches and stuff there, it's gonna be probably pretty dry, I think. Could be much more wet. Probably go this way, and then we can check a little bit. I did plant some trees here this spring. We could go and take a look at them, and then we're gonna go take a look at where we're gonna probably do some firewood soon. You don't have bears and wolves. We have bears and wolves here. But yeah, this forest here, like we usually do, like do some thinnings and stuff, where we remove like some trees, and then it looks more like this. Like the forest is more like, especially when it's older, it's more like open. Younger forest, like we can go through that stuff. When it's a younger forest, then it's like much more dense. But yeah, older forest like this, it's pretty nice to walk through. It's like quite airy. It's all pines. Yeah, here it's all pines. There it's mostly spruce. Then we have some birches here. Those are the most common trees here. Then less common are like aspen, alder, yeah, then oak, beech, ash tree. Those are way more rare, but they can grow here in southern Finland. But for the most part, yeah, forests here are like, it's like birch or like pine spruce, that's like 90%, and then maybe 5% birch, and then all the rest is like the last 5%. Some tractor guys driving through also. But yeah. That spruce has snapped off. It was dead, I guess. But yeah, pretty much any wood is good firewood as long as it's dry. That's the most important part. Okay, now we should start to see soon some new trees. I did plant this area in spring here. I started dying in my country too. Yeah, like all the trees, they usually have like some sort of disease. I think oak might have. I'm not an expert at all on oak because we don't have it very much here, but for example here we have on the spruces you can get the bark beetle, and then it kind of kills off the old weak spruces. And yeah, all trees have like some sort of diseases always. But yeah, here these we planted this spring. Planted some new spruces. This one looks pretty healthy. It already grew, like it didn't grow much the first year, but looks pretty good at least. There's another one. Yeah, I think these look good here. They have grown a little bit, but the first year always when you plant new trees, the trees gotta like grow the roots out first. And then the next couple of years, and it really starts to grow. Not all wood is good. Some wood is better because it burns longer. So it depends. If you have the same weight of wood, then it burns the same amount of time. I think there's not that big of a difference. If you by weight, if you go by volume, then yeah, 1 cubic meter of pine is gonna heat less than 1 cubic meter of birch. But if you take 1,000 kilos of pine and 1,000 kilos of birch, then it's gonna provide the exact same amount of heat almost. That's kind of it's a common misconception, I think. But yeah, then of course some trees, I mean birch, I think it generates less ash. Like some when you burn some things, it generates more ash. But yeah, in the big picture, you can burn almost any tree. Should burn pretty well. You calculate by volume. It depends, like if you calculate by weight it doesn't matter, but yeah. Here we see, it's a spruce tracks, or like moose tracks, I mean. There's a spruce, there's a spruce, there's a pine, there's a spruce. Seems like not many of the trees I planted have died at least, so that's good. That's alive, that's alive, this is alive. There's one, then there should be one, that's alive. Looks pretty good. Doesn't look much like a forest yet, but I guess here's a good comparison. You can see this looks like this now, and then in like about 10 years it should look like this. This was planted, I guess it's like 15 years ago when this was planted, so this will turn into this in a little over 10 years. But yeah, it's very nice to see when you planted the trees. It's quite quite a big satisfaction when you see like the trees grow up. Even if it's slow, it's a slow process. A forest doesn't grow up in like 1 year to big trees, but it's pretty still like nice to see the trees grow. Yeah, these look good. Like this grew actually quite a bit. I think this one grew this much this year. That's pretty good for the first year. What is the main water source? Rainwater. Rainwater fills up the, like, what is it called? The water that's in the ground. But yeah, rainfall. Otherwise, it's like everywhere. Rainfall is always the only source of water. All the places that have water, all the lakes, all the rivers, it's like rainwater that eventually flows downhill. So yeah, rainwater. Not surprisingly, rainwater is the water source. For the most part. I mean, yeah, if you find some place like that's downstream from a lot of rain, then I guess technically it wouldn't have to rain exactly there if the water comes in from somewhere else. But I mean, all this area, like it gets, I don't know how much rain we get yearly on average. Maybe like 600 millimeters. Like I think yearly we get about this much of rain. I think like over half a meter yearly. So a lot of places it rains more, but it's definitely enough for the forest. The forest is it's developed to survive on not so much water. Do we have boars? We have boars, and the hunters do hunt them. And yeah, talking about hunting season, it's hunting season right now here, and the hunters, they already got like a few mooses, and we got the moose meat already. Very nice. The hunters brought like, I think it was like 2 to 3 kilo piece of moose meat. So that's very nice. The hunters, they have like permission to hunt here in our woods, and then in return we get like a little bit of moose meat. I wish they would shoot a little bit more of the moose, because they still kinda chew on the trees sometimes too much, but it is what it is. But yeah, it's true that for the there we have some moose crap, I think. So there's moose around here. That's for sure. Always, whenever you walk like a little bit in the forest, you always see tracks, crap, or some like some sign of moose activity. I don't like it when they hunt bears and wolves. So yeah, they hunt bears in Finland a little bit, and wolves, it's like a big debate right now going on that should they hunt wolves in Finland. I think they're gonna hunt like a little bit, because it's getting to a point where if you let your dog out in the forest, then you might not have a dog in a while. There's I think first the moose or the deer population got higher, the boar population got higher, and then when you have higher populations of those, then you can have more predators like the wolf, and now the wolf is like becoming a problem almost. There's too many wolves around. Yeah, so here's like a ditch here, but it's like dry to the bottom there. So it has been quite dry. Yeah, but the problem is when you get too many predators. Yeah, I don't think there's no water flow. There's a little puddle here, but it's not really flowing at all. So some years, this time of the year, this would be like half full with water and you'd had considerable like flow here. So I think the soil feels pretty firm here. Like I'm kind of scouting because I want to make some firewood up there and then we haul it out right here with the tractor. And then if the ground is like soft, then you can't drive with the tractor here. You need to wait for the ground to freeze. But I think it's again like last year, it's so dry now that we could potentially do the firewood before the snow already. But yeah, we're gonna, like last year we were here doing firewood. Now we could go check. I think we're gonna, this year I would like to do that area up there, cut down there's a few big birches there, cut those down as firewood. And then if that's not enough, then we can continue here and thin this forest out a little bit. But yeah, deer you see all, like every year I see deer on the fields here. They're always like walking. Sometimes in the summer, sometimes in the fall, you see like a few deer walking around on the fields. So deer is very easy to see. Moose you see like sometimes. And then in the last couple of years I've actually seen a wolf a couple of times. And that was kind of cool to see a wolf live. That does not happen very often, I would say. But yeah, haven't seen a bear yet. The bear and the boars, I have not seen them. I know there's both around here, but I have not been able to see those yet. It's your furnace ceramic metal. It's like on the farm. At the farm we have, the farmhouse is heated with wood, yeah, and it's a metal wood burner. I think it's completely metal. There might be some inside, there's like some bricks, but it's mostly metal, I would say. Yeah, I think from here there's like a road going somewhere here. It should go up to that area. We can go and check there, see if internet works there. It's usually really bad there, but I'll just go check it quick. I think from here, yeah, road goes up there. We can pretty much drive here. Maybe cut that tree down so we can get room to get in there. Ceramic better. I mean, we have like, it's the wood burner, and then the wood burner is connected to a 3,000 liter like boiler, I guess you call them. And then when you burn the wood, you heat up the 3,000 liters of water, and then you have heat for like a long time. So it's not like a fireplace type burner. It like heats up a lot of water, and then you have heat for, if it's a weather like this, you only need to burn wood maybe once in 3 days. Works pretty well. Since we got the fuel is, I wouldn't say free, but the fuel, we only need to put in a little work and then we got the fuel from the forest. So don't need to buy any fuel. Yeah, here we got here's like a little bridge. And again, this ditch, as you can see, it's dry to the bottom, so it is, and this feels solid. Yeah, we can drive with the tractor here, no problem, I think. I don't think we will sink in this. It should be solid. But yeah, this would be the access point to this area. Here is where I want to do the firewood this year. So we're not gonna obviously cut these small trees, we're gonna go after the big ones. There's maybe one, I should count how many there is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's like a 15 trees here. Maybe 20 if I take some of these right here. So yeah, if I take just these bigger trees here, this will be enough for 1 year of firewood. And the problem is here we got the new trees already coming here. Then I think we'll probably use if I fell the trees this way and then we use the winch to drag the logs, then we don't need to drive with the tractor too much here because there's a nice new forest coming up here. So want to smash as few trees here as possible when we drop the bigger ones. But yeah, probably fell them this way and then use the winch to drag them here maybe. We'll see, or then we'll just have to make a road and drive up a little further with the tractor somewhere. Can you fit with tractor? So we will just have to make a path somewhere. Like I can cut down some trees and make a path so we can drive. Maybe do like a loop like this with the tractor. Then I can leave most of the trees. But yeah, with the winch we don't need to get very close to every tree. I can drag the whole, like cut the tree down and then drag the whole trunk closer to the tractor. Terrain doesn't seem straight. So with a tractor, it needs to be relatively flat. I mean, I can go up a hill as long as there's no like big rock, or like right here I could drive up there, that's flat enough. And then here you could drive on this side, this is flat enough. Like a tractor doesn't need completely flat terrain. But yeah, it can't be too rough. It's not like we don't have like forestry machinery. With the forestry machinery you could drive anywhere here, like no problem, over all the rocks, like no issue. But yeah, with a normal tractor, like a farm tractor, you have to plan the route a little bit. You can't just drive everywhere. Yeah, it's like a 4-wheel drive tractor, 100 horsepower. It's pretty good for the forest. Like it's pretty high underneath, and you'll see later when we haul out the logs. It goes pretty well in even on uneven terrain. And then I'll probably use a smaller tractor as like a winch tractor. But yeah, I mean here, if you come up here, here's like a flat spot here. From here I could get that tree, winch those maybe. There's a couple of really far up there. We'll probably have to make like, if I make in the middle there, if I would make like a path up there. If we can find somewhere where you can drive with the tractor up there and then turn around and come back down. I guess that would be the easiest almost. That wood is too wet. Yeah. So this, if I cut these down this year, then these will be burned maybe 2027. So this, yeah, if I cut this down now, I'm not gonna immediately obviously burn this. This will be the wood we burned this winter. It's already at the farm. It's cut, it's split, it's dry, it's under a roof. But this is firewood for like the next, maybe next year or maybe the year after. You let it sit for long. At least like 1 summer, so it dries up properly. At least to dry up at least 1 summer. Then it's pretty good. Then it's good to use as firewood. But yeah, it's pretty amazing how many trees we got here. Like we didn't plant anything here. This was just, it was basically clear cut. Some the birches were obviously left. And then there was a excavator here that dug up the surface a little bit. But you can see it's like, there's a lot of trees here now. Looks really good. Again, this place, come back here in 5 years and you won't think it's the same place. Like all these trees will grow so much bigger in just a few years. In most of the areas we do plant trees, but this area we decided to go for a different approach. And it seems like it's worked out pretty well. Like there's a lot of pine here, some spruce, some birch. It will be like a mixed forest, all kinds of trees. The older one's still kind of small. Yeah, I mean that birch is decent sized. This one is pretty good. I think that, like a tree like that, probably one tree is, it's probably, I should have the thing where you can count how much volume one tree has, but I think a tree like that might be, it's probably closer to like 700 liters or something. So yeah, only need like trees like these, we need like maybe 15 for 1 year worth of firewood. So it's not that bad. This is like, if I put my hand here, you can see, like that's 20 centimeters. This tree is like, right here the diameter is like almost half a meter, like 40 centimeters, so decently big. Yeah, this is leaning this way, this would go easily down there. We can check the trees a little bit. There's one up there. Should come here on a day when the wind is pushing also from that direction, then it's easier to fell the trees this way. No, not 7 cubic meters, 0.7. We do not really have 7 cubic meter trees here. You might get, if you find a really big, you might get up to like 2-3 cubic meters maybe. Or maybe, yeah, but it's really rare to have that big trees. But I don't think, or maybe 7 cubic meters, it would have to be a really huge tree. But I guess a pine or something could grow into almost that size. Hello there, Nazar. But yeah, even like these trees, I would guess, I don't have my measuring stuff here, but if it's like 40 centimeter thick, it's probably 20 meter tall. Then there are like, you can do the calculations and see how much the volume is of the tree, but I would guess like, yeah, somewhere between half a cubic meter to 1 cubic meter per tree. So not super small. But yeah, here it starts to become really rough. Here over these rocks you would struggle with the tractor. Like you can't drive over these anymore. That's too big. But yeah, if you can get up somewhere there with the tractor, then we can winch these, drop these this way and then drag them the rest of the way, I think. That might be the best plan. And then somewhere here, it's like the neighbor's side. Border goes somewhere here. That one, there's one really in the corner we can probably leave. Like we don't need to cut every single tree down, but most of these you could definitely remove because there's already trees growing here, so the big ones are not needed anymore. Connection is actually working pretty good here. Usually this area right here is like completely dead. Now the stream is actually working, which is kind of amazing actually. But yeah, this is pretty clear here. I guess we could look around a little bit, try to find the best path for the tractor. Here you can see a moose or a deer has been sleeping here. Grass is completely flat. Definitely a spot where something has been sleeping. Maybe a bear even. most likely a deer or moose. But yeah, I think when I come here, it's probably best to come. Well, I can't take the tractor and the winch at the same time. I'm gonna have to bring just the one tractor with the chainsaw and stuff first. Then we'll have to come another day and winch. Do some winching. But yeah, I think down there's like a bunch of birches close to the ditch, so we can probably get a few there. But I think if I can drive a little bit here and a little bit over there, down there, then these we can, if I can fell them this way, I can winch them the rest of the way. We need to come up here. This is a rough area here. Here we would struggle with the tractor. You could drive here, but this is like impossible terrain here. Hello, Nemontemi. Yeah, we can go back there to the older forest, then we can go over to the other side and check the like 10-year-old forest, see if we can get lost there. Haven't been there in a bit, so it always looks way different. Yeah, this we can fell this way, then it doesn't even smash too many trees, and then drag it the rest of the way. Is this leaning? Yeah, this one is leaning. It's leaning that way, so that's good. It seems like most of these trees, that one was leaning the wrong way, and down there's one that's kind of leaning the wrong way. But if they're leaning the right way, it's kind of should be pretty easy to drop them down. And then that one in the corner we might just leave. It's a bigger birch and it's almost at the corner post where the border between us and some neighbors. So we might leave that one just for the looks. You can see an old tree when it's like been on the ground for probably like 10 years, and it looks like this. Nice to have some dead wood also on the ground. Some critters really need it. This one is maybe also leaning the wrong way. It's kind of leaning down there, but might be able to, with the wedges and stuff, maybe push it over that way. And then this one, I think this one is still also on our side. There's some lingonberries left here. Almost. And this one is probably leaning the wrong way. All the branches are on the wrong side at least. It's a big guy. It's a pretty big tree. Are you an urban explorer looking for something? I'm looking for firewood. I guess it's leaning that way. The branches are on this side. It would probably go that way also. What's the wildest animal? I don't know wildest. All the animals that are here are wild. I guess people would probably think that the bear or the wolf probably is the wildest. Say biggest. Well, biggest is probably, I would say moose is the highest at least. And then weight wise, is a bear or a big moose heavier? They might be kind of same weight. Don't really know even. How heavy is like I think a bull moose might be like definitely 500 kilos, maybe more. Wolves can be domesticated. Probably dogs. Dogs are domesticated wolves basically. What do I have for protection? For protection I have me talking, which will deter 99.9% of the wildlife. You could have bear spray or something. I don't know. They probably sell it in Finland somewhere, but it's really not dangerous to be in the forest. Oh, here the connection might be cutting out. Because when even bears, wolves, when they hear a dude talking, the natural instinct for them is to run away. Yeah. A normal behavior for those is not to attack a human. Then if they're like, if the danger zone could be if the let's say the animal has like pups, and then you get in between the mother and the pups, then it's dangerous. Then they can defend themselves. Or if you get super close, for some reason you can sneak up on an animal, get like super close, then it could become dangerous. Or if the animal is like wounded or something, or like very sick or something. But in normal cases, there is no dangerous, and there's really no dangerous animal in Finland. It's way more dangerous for me to like fall here on a stick or something. That's the danger zone, not the animals. Yeah, here should be the border between us and the neighbor. We can probably go that way, see if the network is better. Only Siberian tiger stuck. Yeah, I think there are some animals that can like more like hunt humans. It's not, I don't know if those guys, if they're also like not on purpose, or if it's like accidental, or if they're like desperate, or I'm not an expert on those guys. Where are we? Finland. There's a flag on the stream. I have in the tags I have Finnish, Swedish and English because I talk all three languages, but physically we are located in Finland. But yeah, normally here is water in the ditch, so you can see it's dry to the bottom. So it is drier than usual this time of the year now. We can walk on the bottom, we can feel, yeah, the bottom is like almost solid. That being said, it should probably rain a little bit the next few days. So then it can become a little bit more wet. Again, probably a deer sleeping pad right there on some nice comfy grass. Now we should probably could go that way into the younger forest and then go back somewhere there. More afraid of rabies. Babies. Yeah, the thing to be afraid, probably the tick is more dangerous than a bear, or it is more dangerous than a bear. Like if you get some disease from the tick, then that's going to be more dangerous than a bear or a wolf. At least if you look at the statistics. Then of course, if you look at social media, then it's a different thing. Then it's like, oh my god, these bears are dangerous. Instantly, if you go in the forest, you're gonna get insta-killed by the bear. 100%. Hello there, Henka. What is going on? We are exploring the forest here, looking where would be the best spot to take some firewood. That's what's going on. I think out there we have a good spot to take the firewood. Now we're just exploring the rest of the forest here, see how it looks. Which part of Finland? Southern Finland. Pretty south, pretty south. Yeah, here's a lot of... I should come here in the summer because all these bushes are like raspberry bushes. You could find like... Look at this whole area is full of these raspberry bushes. You could find like a lot of raspberry here in the summer. I just need to remember to come here in the summer when the berries are available. But yeah, here should again be somewhere a bridge over the next ditch. Possibly we could just walk over it if it's as dry as the last one. Yeah, this one also might be dry to the bottom. Here's the bridge though. Oh yeah, there's a little water here. Not much though. No, I just have it shows like it shows Finland, but it doesn't show the precise location. Sometimes when we go on like bike rides, we might show the precise location, but now we're in a random forest, or not in a random forest, but in the farm's forest. Oh yeah, we're gonna try to go over there, I think, if there's a possibility to get there. What do you farm? Trees. Trees. So we grow trees here, then we sell like the logs when the trees get bigger. But that's just the forest part of the farm. Then on the fields we grow, like this year we had oats, wheat, some peas. But yeah, next year it's gonna be only oats, I think. Only oats on the fields. Isn't Finland too frozen for agricultural land? No. The summer half you can grow stuff. In the winter, yeah, you can't grow anything outside, but in the summer you can very easily grow like wheat and oats and all that kind of stuff. You can very easily grow. My grandparents are farmer. Yeah, my grandparents were also farmers. And then my dad took over, and now my brother and me took over the farm. Oh, what am I clicking here? Damn raindrops. Did I say weed? No. Don't have sound effects set up for kicks. No, so this, if someone here donates, I'm streaming like to Twitch, Kick and YouTube right now, so if someone donates on Twitch, it should have a sound effect here, but Kick, I don't think Kick has that ability yet, or at least my chat app here doesn't have that ability. It should show it here, but yeah, if someone donates some kicks on Kick, then thank you, but I can't see it here. I guess I can see if I launch the Kick app. But yeah, you can watch this stream on Twitch, Kick, or YouTube. You choose. And I see the chat I see from all the 3 places. But yeah, if someone sends some kicks, thank you very much. I guess I could check it. I could check it from the Kick app, but I don't know if it shows here either. Sometimes it's like doesn't show the old stuff. I have like a chat app that combines the Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. Then it kind of loses some things. How do we go to live here? Yeah, this shows the video, but I don't know, it doesn't show. Chat replay doesn't show anything there. I don't know where it should show even the kicks. But yeah, if someone donates, thank you very much. But yeah, I can see how many viewers I got from different platforms here. I can see all the chat. The chat is working. The other parts are not really working, or they maybe can't even work. But yeah, let's continue. We need to go over this ditch and then go up there and then maybe go around. There's like an uphill there, go around there or somewhere. See if we can find our way out of the forest also. But yeah, this is a pretty nice pine forest here. Needs some thinning soon. So we need to come here with the chainsaw and cut down some trees also. But that's probably gonna be next year, not this year. Here's some water, so we don't want to jump in the water here. You can probably jump over the ditch here. Shouldn't be too wide. Hopefully. And hopefully not too muddy on the sides. But yeah, it's been a while since I've been here. Man, has this changed, this forest, a lot. These trees were like half the size when I was here last time almost. Haven't been here in a while, I think. And this again dry to the bottom pretty much. We're still not gonna try to step on the bottom. It could still be muddy at the bottom there. Some deep mud. Yeah, from here on the forest should really change. It's much younger forest here, like spruce. Might be tricky to walk through now when it's like there's a little drizzle, so the branches could be kind of wet. Yeah, these trees have grown very nicely here by the edge. Like this tree was planted 15 years ago. Now it's like probably 15 centimeters thick here. That's pretty good in 15 centimeters in 15 years. Might not sound a lot to some like warmer places, but here this is really pretty good growth, I would say. But yeah, let's go this way somewhere. See if we can find anything interesting. Oh yeah, here are these guys. These guys you can actually eat. Don't know what this plant is called. It's not clover. It's like, it tastes like salty grass. But yeah, you can eat it. It basically tastes like, yeah, salty grass. you can see some of these aspen trees. You can see how somebody has been chewing on this guy. Like all the branches here are like broken off. This is most definitely been a moose here. Been chewing on this tree pretty badly. That's why we don't have too many aspen trees. There are some here, some bigger ones, but the moose is a pretty aggressive chewer on some of these. It especially likes like aspen and pine. So those usually get chewed pretty aggressively. Here's some alder leaves. So yeah, there's probably, yeah, that's an alder tree right there. It's a pretty nice area here where it switches from one forest to another like type. Here you have like more diversity, I guess. Some aspen trees, some spruce, birch, pine, alder, aspen, yeah, all kinds of trees. All kinds of random stuff. Could go in here a little bit, but it's might be a little, the branches might be a little wet. Maybe you could find like a moose track. Seems like here mooses have been running around here, I think. Find some route through the easiest route through this forest. And yeah, it's not, when we planted this tree, this was like a vast open area, then it was very easy to navigate. You could see there's a road there and you could see the like forest around. But now it's like when these trees are big now you're like, where the hell am I right now? Which direction should I go? Like I cannot really see the big trees outside this forest anymore. So you're kind of just going in some direction and hopefully we get out of the forest at some point here. Don't really remember the terrain like perfectly. But yeah, in general we should probably be going like that way maybe. Here I have definitely not been in a long time. We'll see if the connection hangs on here. Yeah, these trees have definitely grown a lot over the last 5 years. Pretty much doubled in 5 years. Here there could also be, if it wouldn't have been so cold over the nights, there could be some mushrooms here. I think the mushrooms all froze. Froze probably. Oh yeah, it's dense here. Very dense. This is with the spruce trees, it's kind of nasty sometimes. It's kind of hard to walk when they're younger, when there's a lot of branches all the way down. Then they're like, how the hell am I supposed to walk through this? We'll just have to try to find the easiest route through. Are you getting any EU or local fund subsidies for reforestation for the wood business? So for the forest part, you really don't get any subsidies. Like when I do, like if you watch the last stream or the stream before that, when I do like brush cutting, like basically a first thinning in a forest like this, then you can get the, like, if you do at least 1 hectare, you can get like 200 euros per hectare. But for the forest, it's not, we don't get really a lot of subsidies. It's more on the farming part. Are you manual planting? Yeah, we all these spruces you see here, basically all these spruces, like the green evergreens, me, myself, or me, my brother, and my dad, we planted all these. This was the pretty big, large area here. We planted like, I think it was like 6,000 trees one spring. So that took like a few weeks. It was a big job one spring, but yeah, now it's a forest again. It's gonna be very nice. Soon I can start to thin this out and actually like remove some trees, and then we can either sell that wood or use it as firewood. We'll see if we need firewood, then we can thin this out and take it all as firewood, or if not, then we can sell that wood. This is private or local? This is privately owned. So me and my brother own this. It's in any case in Finland, I think it's like 70% of the forest is like privately owned. And I would say, yeah, a lot of that is like by just normal people. Then the state owns, especially in northern Finland, the state owns quite large areas. But there's also, yeah, large areas that have been like, they're like national parks and all kind of stuff like that. No, so the trees that you plant in Finland, it's basically spruce, pine, birch. Those are commercially really the only viable trees. Then everything else is like, yeah, you can do it for fun, but there's not really gonna be like, it's gonna be for fun pretty much then. Yeah, you can grow lind and oak, but those are mostly like, you see them in Finland, but they're mostly like in parks, like in city centers. There you can see oaks, linden, ash tree, like things like that. It's more, those trees are more for like decorative purposes in Finland. They're not really grown commercially at all, because I think they would grow pretty slow in Finland. The wood is premium. Yeah, it is premium, but these trees the spruce, when you plant, these will take until they're grown like big and you can do the next clear cut. It's going to take probably like 50 years. So then oak and stuff like that, it would probably take 100 years at least. And then, yeah, they might not even survive. Like some of them might die even. But yeah, for spruce, pine, and birch, you have like, there's a big market, so you actually know that you probably can get those sold. Like all that, like if you grow trees for furniture, it's gonna be more harder like to find a buyer. It's more like special wood than, yeah, there's probably a little market for that, but it's gonna be, you can't, like, I wouldn't probably want to plant like 5 hectares worth of oak somewhere. It would be pretty risky. But yeah, like right now the spruce is probably the most like the highest value tree, and then pine is almost the same, and then birch is already like much lower value. But yeah, I still want to, like, we try to grow like mixed forests. Like you can see here, there's, yeah, some places have mostly spruce, some have mostly pine, but you can see it's like mixed, like right here it's birch, and then it's like mixed spruce birch there, and even here where it's mostly spruce, there's like, I purposely left like some birches in between there, so it's like a little bit more diverse. And yeah, right here it's really diverse. We got some alders in the ditch, and I mean, I'm pretty happy about how the forest looks here. I know somebody else would like to do something else here, but I mean, it's up to. In Finland, it's good in that way that as a landowner, you can't do anything. Like there's some like rules, some laws, but you can like, if I want to leave this forest just like this and not do anything for the next 30 years, it's fine. You can do that. If you're a rich dude, you can do that. Just leave all the forest and not touch anything. But yeah, we like try to still get like a little bit of income from the forest. It's not a lot, and it's like, it of course takes a long time always for the trees to grow, but it provides like a little bit of an income. One like part of the income. And it provides all the firewood. I mean, that's also worth something. Don't need to buy any firewood. We can get all the firewood from the forests. The fir tree. Yeah, I think like the spruce is like one type of fir. I should really brush up on my tree skills. I should know all the names and all the things, but it's something, sometimes the knowledge gets a little bit rusty. Here you can see again, the moose, not the spruce. The moose was around. Here you can see this tree, probably not dead, but kind of destroyed. This tree also kind of ruined a little bit by the moose. But yeah, man, that spruce, they're growing big, the trees here. Like, I soon need to come in here and do a thinning, actually. The trees are so big, you can see they're kind of close to each other, so we could start to remove some. Get the best ones a little bit more room. Or give them a little bit more room. Probably gonna happen relatively soon, actually, in this forest. Within the next 5 years, for sure, I think. I think this is the other type of alder. We have like 2 types of alder trees. I think this is the other one. That's like different leaves. But yeah, here is like the main ditch, main drainage from all that swampy area. You can see no water flow. Dry, dry, dry. Pretty dry. The surface might be wet now, but yeah, the dirt underneath is not that wet. Do I make syrup? No, you could make from birch. You could make syrup. Like, I've tapped some birches sometimes, but then I didn't make it into syrup. I just the liquid that comes out from a birch in the spring, you can just drink it. It's like basically like really clean water. But if you would boil down that, I guess you could make, in the same way you make maple syrup, you could make birch syrup. But yeah, that I've done a few times, like drank that birch. It's not birch syrup, but it's like birch water. And it tastes really good. It's like water with absolutely no like aftertaste. The best water I've ever drank. You can die from it, drink not the birch stuff, like the birch, if you drink the birch water, it's like water. So it's not dangerous at all to drink. But yeah, that's the cleanest water I've ever drank, was when I tapped a birch and drank that stuff that came out. That's the cleanest water I've ever drank. Here you can see I left some birches here, but this is the problem with even the birch and the pine. That birch destroyed, this birch destroyed. I guess that one is fine there, and that one is fine. I tried to leave some birches to get a little bit more like diversification in here, but you can see some of them like that will never produce like a nice log. Might not be dead, but yeah. Earlier I said that I would like to have less moose, and that this is the reason. Here you can see a couple of trees. This is the reason why I think there's too many moose, too many meese around. But it's fine, as long as there's some birds in there, it's fine, I guess. This tree is like fine. With pancakes. No, so the birch stuff I just drank it like as is. You'd have to boil it down or something if you want to put it on pancakes. And I don't really know if you boil it down if it does the same thing as like maple. If you boil down the maple stuff, then you can get maple syrup. I don't really know if the birch, if it does the same thing or, but you can drink it just fresh, and it's like best water I've ever had. You boil the buds from the fir tree. Yeah, fir tree, yeah, that's a different thing. I was just talking about birch and like maple syrup. I know how you make that. You get the liquids from the maple and then tap the maple, and then you boil down the stuff you get. Here the trees are definitely way smaller. They were really big there close to the ditch. I guess there's better soil there. This stuff is a little bit easier to walk through, and this can also still grow. No need to do anything here yet. Yeah, I mean firs, I know there's like a lot of firs, but I think the spruce, I think this spruce, it's like one, I think it belongs to the fir. Like the fir is like the bigger like family of trees, and then spruce is one of those. I think it is like that. I'm not 100% sure there. But yeah, this is the spruce. Picea abies, if you wanna look up the Latin name. That's what this is. Picea abies. This is like birch. That's Betula. I think this is Betula pendula. Something like that. We have like two different birches actually here. The other one is Betula something else. There's like two different types of birches. And then pine is Pinus sylvestris. But yeah, now probably this way somewhere. Cones from a fir tree you can collect and start fire. Yep, you can burn. Pine cones you could burn. You could burn if anything that's dry you could burn. Ooh, this is not the nicest one. These branches are a little bit wet. We're not gonna go through too much more of this forest because it's wetter than I thought here. I thought the branches would be kind of dry, but it's been drizzling a little bit today, so there's a little on the branches. There's a little bit of liquids. Yeah, I think I see the bigger trees over there, so if we head that way we should be able to get out of the jungle here. But yeah, this tree has been growing pretty well. You can see there's always like a layer of branches, and then there's a next layer of branches. So pretty much like from one layer to another, that's how much it grew in 1 year. From there it grew from there up to there. That's like a meter in 1 year. And also the tops of the trees, you can see. They grew pretty well this year, it seems. Half a meter, maybe a little bit more. Pretty good. So you can also plant the big Christmas tree. Yeah, so this spruce, this is what we use for Christmas tree here. I think I saw somewhere where they used like a pine for the Christmas tree, which feels very weird. We always use like a spruce. Try to find like a small one that has like a lot of branches. And that's always a nice Christmas tree. But yeah, all these basically are Christmas trees, but that's also one thing I gotta find. I haven't found this year's Christmas tree yet. It needs to be like a tree that grew really slowly and has like a lot of branches. So it's not the easiest to find always. I think we had one place there close to a barn. There's a place that we have taken a Christmas tree many years. It's been really, there's been some really nice trees for Christmas trees. Yeah, so that's always when I say, someone says that these would be nice Christmas trees, but these are growing fast, so they don't have a lot of branches. So all these would not be good Christmas trees. For the Christmas tree, you want a tree that grows really slowly. Creates a lot of branches, but not a lot of length. Then you get the nice Christmas tree. These are growing length and thickness, but not really that many like branches. Which is what you want. Here in the forest, I want these trees to grow, length and grow those nice big fat logs. Do I drink? Yeah, it's hard to stay alive if you don't drink. But if you mean alcoholic beverages, then occasionally. Not too much, but a beer here and there maybe. Maybe some cider. Here you can see. Here's the old stump. Then a new tree decided to grow in the old stump. There's another one. That's pretty funny sometimes. I guess when the old stump gets rotten on the surface, then if you get seeds come down here, then this seems to be a good starting point for a new tree. They did not grow that, like a new seed had to come in, like a tree like that, when you cut it off, it's not gonna grow again from the stump, but there's probably a few new seeds landed in the good spot apparently. Then they started to grow up. But yeah, I mean, all the old stumps, when they rot away, they produce like, or when they rot down, they release all the nutrients, and then the new trees can use those same nutrients. But yeah, this is like moss. I don't know what this moss was called, but yeah, we have a lot of moss. If you look at the ground here, like it's full of moss. And then somewhere on the rocks you might have like lichen. That's like more other color than this, but yeah, basically the bottom is filled with moss. Very, very common to have it underneath, like especially spruce forest where it's like kind of dark down here. Then you can see it's like it's just a layer of moss on everything, even over the rocks and over the old stumps and everything. Mushroom season over. Yeah, I would say mushroom season is over. There was a few nights like last week or this week. I think it was last week. We had one night where it dropped down to like -7 Celsius. So I think that would have killed all the mushrooms. And then it's also been pretty dry, so not that many mushrooms around, but for sure some. Okay, now we're out back here. Yeah, we did a loop, so we kind of came back to this planted area. Guess it's nicer to walk here now when it's surprisingly like it's still kind of drizzling. So. But yeah, here you can kind of see, like I planted the spruce, but you can see how nature is filling in. Like here's a lot of pine. I did not plant the pine here, they just came probably from those trees. Like nature always fills in with like a lot of trees. We still did plant this area with trees, but yeah, it's a small area and there's trees all around, so massive amounts of seeds will come down. And this will look very different in like 5 years. Now it might look kind of rough to some people, but yeah, this will look like this, like I said before. Just takes a few years. Mushrooms for eating. It depends. Some of the mushrooms, if you eat them, you might get it might be the last mushroom you eat. Yeah, this was planted. Spruce. Looks pretty. This grew like crazy this year. Doubled in size the first year. Probably go this way. Fly agaric. Yeah, we have that one is also here. If you eat get that guy, then it's gonna be the first and last mushroom you eat, or the last mushroom you eat. And there's some other poisonous one too, but there's a lot that you could eat also here. I'm not really a mushroom specialist. I'm more like I like to pick the berries, like blueberries, lingonberries. But I don't really pick too many mushrooms. Oh, there's that birch has fallen there. It's right on the road. Like that's the road where we access the forest there. Need to cut that to firewood too, because it's right now it's like blocking the road. Yeah, but not recommended to eat the fly agaric. Here we have actually a mushroom. These are probably frozen, but I don't know what this is. This could be, if this is a chanterelle, it's just frozen. If this is the chanterelle, then this you could eat. I'm not sure, it looks kind of weird when it's like frozen. And these guys here, those might have been like edible ones. Hard to tell when they're like frozen, they kind of change color and all kinds of weird things happens. But yeah, fly agaric, I do not recommend you to eat it. It is quite poisonous. Yeah, here we even planted some trees here between the rocks. Yeah, it's the same thing as eating like, or like drinking methanol. You really don't want to do that. it's really gonna fuck you up. There's a spruce. There's one. Seem to be doing quite well even up here on the rocks. Like this terrain here, you can see this is very rocky here, but in between we got the trees growing in between still. Anywhere where you can find some dirt between the rocks. Here's the same thing as in the other spot. You can see a really old stump, and then there's like new trees growing inside the old stump. I guess when it rots in the middle, there's like good dirt. Seed comes down, finds a good spot, starts to grow. But this stump is really old, and also by the length of it, like they left a pretty long stump. I would guess this was cut by hand, probably. Because when you cut with a chainsaw, you don't need to leave a long stump like this. So this might have been cut like in the 40s, 50s maybe. Or maybe they used a chainsaw. But yeah, this stump is probably, yeah, it might be really old actually. You can still find some of these really old ones. This probably was a pine. When you cut down those really old pines, and the stump is like, it's very long lasting after you cut the tree away. This could easily be like, it might be even like 100 years old. Like 100 years ago someone cut this tree off, and it's the stump is still like standing a little bit. How come you don't sleep? Nah, I got good boots, and then it's not as long as there's not like, if it's like flat bedrock underneath, then yeah, it's slippery. But here it's like small rocks, and it's not that slippery. But it can be if you find like a flat surface like that, and then you stand on it, then it might slip. But it's more the lichen. This is like moss, as I said. And the moss is a little bit less slippery. The lichen on a flat rock, now that's slippery. That's like stepping on ice or something. That's very slippery. Yeah, I would say this is moss. All the green stuff, or like, I guess it's looking a little bit yellow. This stuff that's on all the rocks. This is moss, pretty sure. There's so many, like, there's probably like 50 different types of moss. But yeah, this is very common here. Grows on rocks, grows on the ground, grows on everything, as you can see here. Covers all the surfaces almost. Lichen is a little bit more like, I should find some place where we have lichen. It's more like gray. On the rock there's a little bit. This is like lichen right here. This stuff, it's more like gray in color. There's a little bit. If you have only that on a rock, then it's really slippery. But yeah, this is mostly moss here. Mossy moss. No, not lichen, it's moss. How can you tell the difference? Well, you saw the color. The color is very drastically different. Moss is green, the lichen is gray, almost white. But yeah, if you go up there on the there's like a big place there up there, like on a hill there. There the floor is completely covered with lichen, but it's a much drier area. So yeah, if you get a really dry place high up, then you get more lichen. If it's a little bit more wet, then you get the moss. You could tell here's like bedrock, but I think that's also moss. It depends on the soil. Like if it's really like just rocks and no soil and really dry spot where the sun shines all the time, then you get the lichen. But as soon as it's a little bit more wet, then you get the moss. What bird is that? I think this is just moss everywhere. Moss and grass. Like when the soil is better, then you get even grass instead of moss. Do you have any lakes or rivers? From right here, it's probably... Well, the nearest lake is probably maybe 5 kilometers away. So not too far. It's always, in Finland, you can never really be very far away from a lake. You're always more or less close to a lake. Ever had forest fire? Not in our forest, no. In the neighbor's forest there was a pretty decent forest fire a few years ago. But we have not ever had a forest fire here in our forest. Now this one's growing real nice here. That's doubled in size also first year. Here you can see the bedrock is closed, but even here it's like moss. And then it's like lingonberries. No lichen even here. For Scandinavia, a lot of things look grey. I mean, yeah, this is probably the greyest time of the year. I mean, it still looks pretty green, I would say. I mean, the grass is kind of turning over. That was all green. But if you're in the summer here, like this is like everything is green here. Now in the just before you get the snow, then maybe right now is the most grey time of the year, I guess. But yeah, you should see when we stream in the summer, it's like everything is green. Everything is very, very green. But yeah, we have like different seasons of the year, so sometimes it's all white. If we come here in the winter and it snowed, then again this looks way different because then everything is white almost. Only the evergreens are like green and then everything else is white. So then this very same place looks again way different. Really depends when you come here. In the summer it's all green, in the winter it could be all white. Now it's like somewhere in between. There's a lot of small mushrooms here. Look at these guys. A lot of these really tiny ones. These are probably not edible, but they're probably breaking down the branches or something. Pile of branches. Almost slipped on the branch there. The branches are almost like a pile of branches like that. That's the most slippery stuff right now. Can you speak Russian? Swedish I can speak, not Russian. Niet, no Russian. Swedish, when you hear us speaking with my brother and stuff, we probably speak mostly Swedish actually. There's some mushrooms on the stump. Again, those have frozen, so not edible. They don't even know if those were edible before, but they're also breaking down like an old stump. Oh, that tree snapped off. Could take that as firewood, but if it's just one tree in one place, it's better just leave it. Why you speak mostly Swedish in Finland? So especially around the coasts in Finland, there's a decent bit of Swedish spoken. Like there's a pretty big, like I don't know if you call it like Swedish population, but yeah, I would say like a lot of people that speak both Finnish and Swedish like very easily. So it's for me that's why I always say like for me it's very normal that people speak different languages in the same place, because around here where the farm is, it's like almost not 50-50, but yeah, there's a lot of Finnish and Swedish spoken here. So for me it's very normal that there's many languages. Some people always freak out when there's like, oh, how can you be in Finland and not everybody speaks just one language? It's very common here to speak at least two languages, and these days also English is becoming like more common, or not probably spoken like between people here, but like almost everybody can speak English, at least the like younger population. Finland Prime Minister, very cool. Finland's president is pretty good. Skinny guy with glasses. He sometimes has glasses, but I don't think he really has glasses. Alexander Stubb. That's our president. And his name is, as you could hear, he is like, he also he speaks Swedish and Finnish both very fluently. So I think he's a very good president for our country. He can speak both languages, and he also speaks English very good. So some of the previous presidents, they probably didn't speak. Like he's really good with languages. So I think that's good for a president to be able to speak multiple languages and be like, there's going to be less misunderstandings when you can speak a lot of languages. I don't know if he speaks like Russian, probably not. But it's always helpful if you can speak the language of your neighbors. Seems very elevated on global scene. Yeah, he had some meeting with like Trump even. They were like playing golf or something. Seems like in these days, when you have like all the presidents are completely like bonkers, he feels so like down to the ground as a president. Like if you compare to some of the presidents or leaders from big countries, they're like completely bonkers. It would be nice if more countries would just have like just your average guy as president, not these like completely crazy people. Want to learn German. Yeah, I can speak. I know a few German words also, but I don't speak German. Kein sprechen Deutsch. Or something like that. We found a bike again. We should probably be heading. I guess we could go a little bit that way, then I can show you lichen. Like there's a place that has a lot of lichen that way. And the seat is even wet. It was supposed to not rain today at all. It's kind of been drizzling the whole day. I guess it's fine. It's not really raining, it's drizzling, so I guess that's already a lot better. Yeah, sometimes I don't know if other people think like this, but I always think like, imagine what we as humans could do if we wouldn't be spending like so much time and effort on fighting each other. There would definitely be like, we could be living on the moon right now, maybe on Mars even, if everybody would just stop fighting with each other. Could do so many cool things. Less fighting and more building. Here's a little bit of lichen you can see, but when you go a little further there's going to be a lot of lichen. Off-road biker with thin tires. Yeah, this is like, what would you call this? I think you call this bike like a touring bike. So it's like you can drive on tarmac and then you can also drive on like good like gravel roads. So it's not really like a mountain bike. But yeah, it's interesting if nothing else. But yeah, if all humanity would have like a clear goal that we would be working towards, then I think that would create a lot of innovation and stuff also. Like if we all had like a common goal or like something like that. Now when we go here is a lot of lichen. Leave the bike here. So here you can start seeing when it's like bedrock. Here's a lot of bedrock. All the light stuff. Here is a lot of lichen. This is gonna be slippery. This might be slippery. You can see somewhere if it's like there's some flat bedrock underneath here. These places could be very dangerous when it's like wet. Let's see if it is slippery here. Maybe it's been so dry that it's actually not that slippery. It's not really that slippery. I guess it's not wet enough. But here's a lot of lichen. If you wondered what it looks like, here's a lot of it. This is like a really dry spot, dry place. There's like bedrock here and almost no soil anywhere. Then it looks like this. Then you can get this like white stuff. That's lichen. I guess it's a little slippery here. Yeah, it's a little slippery here when it's wet. Now this is slippery. It's like standing on a sponge when there's flat bedrock underneath. So here you gotta walk a little bit more careful. But yeah, this is a pretty nice area here. Some older trees, and yeah, this is probably not really logged even here. Just trees can just grow here because they grow very slowly here. Bedrock, no soil really. Yeah, it's the same with even with Finnish in Finland and Swedish even. If someone talks, you can kind of tell where they are from in the country. I think that's the same with every language. Like it's spoken a little differently in different areas. Different accents. Maybe some different words even. That's similar for any language, I think. Like some of the Swedish that is spoken in Finland, in some areas, I can pretty much not understand almost anything, and it's still the same language, and I speak very fluently like Swedish, but I still almost can't understand when they speak it, just like maybe 400 kilometers away from here. That's kind of crazy, but sometimes the languages definitely develop in different areas. It develops to almost like its own language. But yeah, here's lichen. You can see here it's like when the ground is like this is bedrock. It's basically just a big huge rock here underneath. Then the only thing that grows is basically lichen. No soil, no topsoil. So then the moss can't even grow almost. Yeah, I think somebody has been driving the tractor here. Like this forest, this is not the farm's forest anymore. We're in the neighbor's forest now. But yeah, I think they have been driving here just when they did some logging further there, I think, or something. Then they drove here with the tractor. Don't want to drink and sleep on lichen. Yeah, maybe that. Now I drink some alcohol, but I don't really need it. Like I feel fine without the lichen, and I can have plenty of fun times without the alcohol. So I don't really need it. Like I never really drink to get drunk. Like that's not really. I have never really seen the point in that too much. But sometimes I can take like one beer or a couple of beers or something like that. But it doesn't really affect me. Like I can drink like 5 beers and it doesn't really affect me even. Even if I don't drink a lot of alcohol, then if I drink some beer, like it pretty much has no effect really. So feel like drinking right now. It's Friday. I guess you can, if you work a normal job, you can kind of drink today because it's Friday, I guess. Weekend time. Yeah, let's go back to the bike, then we can continue with the road back there. Check some other places. But yeah, it's gonna be nice hopefully in a month. It would be best if we would get some snow, then we could start doing cross-country streaming again, or cross-country skiing streams. Kind of looking forward to that with this. Like, I haven't had this setup for a very long time, but this head-mounted camera, I think for cross-country skiing it will work very well. That's pretty much our main streaming thing in the winter. I think last year we started to do cross-country skiing already like mid-November, I think. We got some early snow last year, and then like we got like a lot, like a half a meter, and then a couple of days it was all gone, and then the rest of the winter there was really not that much snow. It was a kind of weird winter last winter. First a lot of snow that immediately melted away, and then long periods with barely enough snow to ski. No creepy places. Depending on who you ask, that forest there was really creepy. It really depends. Some people find any forest, any like bigger forest, very creepy. But yeah, soon we're gonna go past like where the moose hunters have their break. They have built like a cabin in the woods, so we can go past that one. And then we're gonna see like, you see these like platforms in the forest here. We can stop by this one here. These are also being built by the moose hunters to make it a little bit easier to shoot the moose or deer. Like these kind of platforms here by the side of the road. Then it's much easier when they can like stand up there and a little bit higher. Then they can watch both that way and this way and see if the moose goes over the road. then if somebody always wonders what these are, but it's basically hunting platforms. I don't know what you would call them, but yeah, makes it a little bit easier to you see longer way with your gun when you're a little elevated. Usually they build them higher than this one. This one is like super low. Do you use motorized bikes? Nope. This is all powered with leg muscles. I prefer it like this. Like, sure, you could get an electric bike, but the electric bikes are so damn expensive. Like this one was already like, what was it, 500 euros, 600 euros? So this one was already expensive, and like the electric ones, they're like, if you want to get like a cheap Chinese crappy e-bike, then it's already like 2,000, 3,000 euros. So they're very, very expensive. There's another platform that's a little bit in the forest. But yeah, they're kind of expensive, so I decided to instead buy a solid normal bike like this, and then use that money that I saved, use it on the streaming gear instead. But yeah, I've been really happy with this bike. It's probably the best bike I've ever had. So previously I only had these like really cheap normal bikes, so they did not last very long always. Wheel bearings failed, and yeah, all kinds of rims got bent, and this one seems pretty solid. And this is it's like a Finnish brand actually, this bike, Helkama. So it's actually a made in Finland bike, which these days is kind of shocking. Smells interesting right here. It smells like cherry. It smells like cherry here. I don't know how it would. Maybe it's when some of the plants or something are like mushrooms or something are rotting down, then they produce like a very, very interesting smell. It smells like cherries. I'm pretty sure there's no cherry trees here in the forest. Wee big downhill. Might lose internet. Little loose gravel here. This road is otherwise in pretty good shape to ride the bike now. Some places have a little loose gravel, but mostly it's pretty okay. Here's again some younger forest here. And soon on the right hand side it's again the farm's forest here. This is the neighbors right here, but that area down there we did some brush cutting last stream, or was it the last stream before the last stream? But yeah, we did some forestry work down there. This is again the farm's forest here. Here we actually planted pine, and here they actually don't look completely destroyed. Like here you can see that's mostly pine. They look okay here. I think it's so close to this moose hunter break area. Maybe the moose doesn't want to hang around here. They have been chewing on some of them a little bit, but this will be a nice pine forest right here. Looks okay for the most part. Now we're soon starting to arrive back to where there is some fields actually. Large area of forest back there. Now we come to the more fieldy area. For some more off-road. Off-road things. Let's see if we see our squirrel friend. The squirrel was up in that tree, I think, when we left. It's probably gone somewhere else now. Pine cone hunter. Yeah, it's somewhere else now. Well, it was up here in this tree for sure. I guess these trees are big enough to where they are producing cones, so then then the squirrel can get a snack. Yeah, that tree is full of cones. Yeah, it's pretty. It seems like it's drizzling the whole day today. Back out to the fields. Also, I think before we start the forest stuff there, I think we might next week like plow. We're gonna plow this field and then there's another field. But yeah, we're only gonna plow 2 fields this fall. And then the rest will be left for spring. So you'll see some tractor action next week. Sure, the plowing probably takes like 4 days, 3 days, 4 days, it depends. My brother probably wants to plow a little bit too, so if we split it on 2 guys, we could get it done in like 2 days even. I can show you the plow is ready to go here with the tractor. Then I can also, I think we can put like two cameras. One pointing forward and one backwards, and you can see when things happen. When I ride the bike like this, I usually just have one camera, but when you go in the tractor, it might be easier to have like 2 cameras. Then weight is no issues. I can have batteries, I can have cameras. Don't have to carry it also. But yeah, this guy will get some action next week, I think. Turn some dirt. I think it should be all ready to go. Plow, I think, might be well adjusted, or if not, then when we start, then we can do some adjustments if needed. And yeah, that's the forest trailer. If you're wondering with what we're gonna haul the logs from the forest, then we use this just log trailer. Old one, but yeah, it's good for the logs. And then we put the trailer on this tractor, and then we have like a, I don't know what you call it, it's a log loader. So you can load that trailer with the actual tractor. You don't need to load the big logs by hand. We have it's like a grapple, hydraulic grapple that you can grab the logs, lift them on the trailer. So that will see some action also later. And then I guess here we got the final product. We saw the trees in the forest there now. And then this is what the end product looks. Some logs. We're not gonna use this. These will be here and probably used like maybe next year. We got the dry stuff is like under a roof in a building. But yeah, this is what it looks like when it's in the cut and split format. these sound pretty dry even, and they're just outside. But we got the dry stuff is under a roof. We got in the building there we got some dry stuff. This was just, that's full there, so this is just some, it's kind of got a roof here also, but we will use earliest like next summer maybe. Because it can still rain a little bit on the sides, but yeah, this is what the final product looks for the firewood. These pallets we can lift these with the tractor, so pretty easy to move from here to the wood burner. But yeah, I think that might be it for today. Just a little shorter stream. But yeah, now I know the forest. If it doesn't rain much, then we can start to do more firewood here pretty soon, probably. But yeah, next stuff will probably be some plowing next week, if it doesn't rain a lot, and then yeah, some forest stuff, and then we might have some other stuff coming up too. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully you have a good rest of your Friday, and then a good weekend to everybody. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.